MC at the Kiwanis Club of Diverse Professional. Apparently, she's not able to make it tonight because she has a death in her family just this evening, but we're still moving on, moving forward, and our prayers are with her right now. So let's go forward, and we will call Kiwanian Blosset. Are you here? And as well, Director Patrick Henry, are you here? DP Maxine Headley, are you here?
Yes.
Yes, I am here.
Yes, we are here.
Wonderful. You know, to love the ladies, hear the ladies' voice tonight. So lovely, right? Treasurer Wayne, can we get the national anthem right now?
Apologies,
Please
Treasurer.
stand.
Apologies, one sec.
Okay, please stand as we hear the national anthem. Great, thank you very much. Kiwanian Blosset, invocation.
Yes, sir. Good night, my fellow Kiwanians and guests. As customary, are you hearing me?
No.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Okay, as customary.
One moment. Fellow Kiwanians, please ensure that you mute your microphone for the duration of this meeting unless you're going to be speaking. Thank you.
Of the euro ended the day at $177.57.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. And as I stood to invoke God's presence in our midst this afternoon, I ask at this time that you bow your head.
The company was looking to raise $6 billion.
Get your it up.
Kiwanian Blosset, go ahead, please. You're muted.
Unmute yourself, Kiwanian Blosset.
Okay. Thank you for Kiwanis International, the umbrella under which we serve. We ask that you will grant us strength, courage, patience, as we render altruistic service to children of this world. Remember our club members who at this time have lost loved ones. We ask that you will comfort them. Those who are sick, we pray, Almighty God, that you will touch them with your healing hands. Whatever the needs be at this time, Lord, we ask that you will supply them. Lord, we invite your presence in our meeting at this time. Bless all the night's proceedings as we do recognize, Almighty God, that all glory and power and honor belongs to you. Guide, guard, and protect, and grant a special blessing on every home from which we came. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. While we repeat the last verse of the 19th Psalm, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O God, my strength and my redeemer. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, P.E. Blassett. So now I'll move on to the welcome. You know, we have to big up the Energy King, LG Hewitt, in the house, right? Thank you very much, Dr.
Present,
Rosanne.
present, P. Amelia, present.
Thank you, LG Hewitt. Dr. Rosanne Smith, thank you very much for doing this presentation this evening. Dr. Shanique Walters, thank you very much for joining. The boss lady, the big woman, Miss Trevine Forbes, right? I'm not seeing Davian Tucker as yet, but hopefully she's here or will be here very soon, right? So before we move on now, let's go on to the clubs. Do we have any clubs from overseas joining this meeting this evening?
Good evening. I'm Annette Brown from Kiwanis Club of Barbados Central. I'm so glad to be here tonight with you, and I wish you an enjoyable meeting.
Thank you very much for joining. Any other overseas club?
Yes, good evening. This is President Angela of Kiwanis Club of Barbados North, and I am joined by DP Wendy, Kim Michael, and Kim Marlene. Very excited to be here as usual and looking forward to a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. Any other overseas clubs? Okay, so let's move on to 23 Central.
Kiwanis Club of Constant Spring is pleased to join your meeting this evening. Thus far, we have Divisional Secretary Sandro, DP Vanessa, Director Linval, and I am President Pat.
Thank you very much, President Pat. Just to let you know, if you have participants that are not able to join in, you can join the live stream on YouTube, the Kiwanis Club of Linstead. Any other club from 23 Central? Okay, moving on to 23 East.
Hold on, P. Amelia. I sent you a message, but it appears you didn't get it. We're gonna be asking, because of the fact that we want to limit the disruptions to the meeting, persons are not allowed to unmute their microphones. So what we're gonna be asking is that you use the raise hand feature. You'll be identified by the technical team and you will be given the opportunity to unmute. Thank you.
Thank you, President Kevon. 23 East, clubs from 23 East. Go ahead, Director.
Hi, good evening, P.E. Amelia, fellow Kiwanians and guests. This is Director Tanisia from the Kiwanis Club of South.
Tanisia, you muted back your microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not used to this. So I am joined by Kiwis Marcy and Peter Gay, as well as Prospects Sharon and Stacy. We are truly delighted to be interclubbing with you, and we wish for you a wonderful meeting. We're looking forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other from 23? Go ahead, Donna Newman.
Hi, good evening, everyone. P.E. Amelia, it is really my pleasure to be joining you this evening. Donna Newman, Kiwanis Club, Eastern St. Andrew. It's our meeting night, so some other ladies will join after our meeting, but we could not afford to miss this meeting. So I'm looking forward to a wonderful evening and to welcome your new Kiwanians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear. Any other clubs from 23? Okay, moving on to 25, Division 25, clubs from Division 25. Go ahead, DP Denise.
Good evening, everyone. I bring warm greetings from the Kiwanis Club of Westmoreland Capital. That's the club where penis matters. We are 4 in number this evening. With me, we have distinguished Lieutenant Governor Dwight, DP Jermaine, DP Marlon, and I'm DP Denny, and I'm looking forward to an excellent meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other club from Division 25? Okay, now we're in our home club, home division, right? Any clubs from Division 23 West? Go ahead, President Janet.
Oh, thank you, P.E. Emilio. The evening is finally here. So this is President Janet from the Kiwanis Club of the Sunshine City. We bring you greetings. We congratulate both clubs, Mandeville and Diverse Professionals, on the new members that you're going to induct this evening. There are 6 of us plus 1 guest, and we are all looking forward to your presentations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Janet. Any other clubs?
Greetings on behalf of the Kiwanis Club of Linstead, President, to both presidents from the host clubs. I'm President Kevin from the Kiwanis Club of Linstead, and the diplomats are out in their numbers at the moment. Unfortunately, I can't give a number because I'm still trying to sort technical things out, but I will put that in the chat. Looking forward to a wonderful meeting. Thank you.
Go ahead, President Lillian. President Lillian.
Oh, sorry, you're hearing me now?
Yes, you may go ahead.
Thank you so much. Yes, President Lillian from the Kiwanis Club of the First City. We are 4 in numbers, and we are expecting others from our club to join shortly. Thank you for the invite, and we are hoping for a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. DP Donovan.
Good evening, my Kiwanian brothers and sisters, visitors. We're attending the meeting. 2 is online and 2 is viewing via YouTube. There are 4 of us at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Sia Rochester.
Hi, good evening, fellow Kiwanians, the presidents of the club, and all those who are visiting. I'm Secretary Sarah, by the way, from the New Kingston Club. We have 7 online, I believe. I'm not able to see because I'm driving. But we're looking forward to the meeting, and thanks for having us.
Thank you, my dear. President Lillian. Sorry, President Amelia.
Good evening, fellow Kiwanians and guests. Good evening, PE Emilio. My name is President Amelia from the Kiwanis Club of North Spanish Town. We are currently 5 in numbers, and I'm expecting other persons to join, well, if they can get on, but I'm sure they are on YouTube. Thank you for the invitation, and we are looking forward to a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much for joining. President Marian.
Good evening, fellow Kiwanians and guests. It is my pleasure to be a part of this joint meeting and to welcome the new members to this big family. At the moment, we are 2 online. My president was on, but it seemed as if she got kicked out, so most likely she is looking on the stream. Looking forward to a wonderful meeting. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you very much. President Nordia.
Hi, PE Amelia. You're hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are. You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Amelia, President Josephine, and President Cheryl, fellow Kiwanians and guests. This is President Nordia from the Kiwanis Club of Greater Portmore. With me is Assistant Secretary Andrea, DP Jennifer, and Director Sonia. We are honored to be joining your meeting this evening, actually, and are to welcome to all your new members, and all the best for the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Nardia. Can LGE Pauline please come forward?
Thank you so much. Good evening, fellow Kiwanians, guests and friends, prospect. It's a pleasure. Greetings from the Kiwanis Club of South St. Catherine. Currently, we are 6 in number, and it's our pleasure to be joining you this evening. We thank you so much. We look forward to your meeting.
Thank you very much. From our mother club, LGE Pauline. Can President Denise please speak?
Good evening, fellow Kiwanians and guests, prospect. Good evening again. Greetings from the Kiwanis Club of Yorkton Premier Builders. With me are, I think, my secretary, Melissa, and the director, Jason. They were on, but they got bumped off. And I have a guest in the form of Mr. Dixon. Others will be joining us shortly. It's a pleasure to be here, and we are thanking you for inviting us. We look forward to a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Denise. Any other clubs? I'm not seeing any more raised hands. So I think we can safely say we can move forward, right? Glad events. Anyone have any glad events? Go ahead, President Denise, again.
I wasn't aware that my hand was up. Anyway,
okay,
shortly we are going to meet a new club, and very soon we will be chartered. And of course, we are sponsored by Linstead.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm seeing DCP. Hope I pronounce this very, very good.
Yes, good night. Hello?
Yes, you may go ahead.
Okay, good night. This is DCP Tajra K from the Samsha Teachers College Circle K International Club. I bring greetings from the Caribbean district of Circle K. I'm actually riding solo at the moment, but we have other persons joining shortly as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Any sad or glad events?
PE Amelia, before you go on to sad or glad event, let me take this opportunity in welcoming all the members from the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville. Right, so I can't tell you how many are there now, but I know they are there. So let me welcome them as the president. Welcome Kiwanis Club of Mandeville.
Glad event, PE Amelia.
Go ahead.
Right. Tonight I was elected as PRO for the Red Cross, the Linstead Red Cross era group. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to serve in that capacity.
Go, Pretty Kevin. Ooh, welcome, man.
Great. Any anniversaries or birthdays? I am full of birthdays this month. You know, March is the best month. And guess what? Our own moderator celebrating her birthday this month as well. You know, the best persons born in March, right? So Dr. Shinique Walters, you know, happy birthday when it's here. Any other person celebrating birthdays or anniversaries in the best month of the year?
Yes, PE.
Go ahead.
As
Yes,
we said, best month of the year. The months of the year are 12 March. And I have a nephew on the third, another nephew on the 14th, another my sister on the 16th, her son on the 20th, yours truly and a nephew, a grandnephew on the 21st, DP Reynald, the husband of my sister, the 22nd, 3 nephews on the 24th, and a niece on the 26th. March is the real month.
I tell her it turn up LG. Director
Yes.
Tenusia.
Yes, indeed. Are you hearing me?
Yes, Director Tenusia, we're here.
Yes, March is the real month. My birthday is on Thursday of this week, the 18th. And happy birthday to everybody else who will be celebrating in this month or have celebrated already.
Thank you. DP Denise, Westmoreland Capital.
Good evening again. Our own DLG Dwight, who's here with us this evening, interclubbing, celebrated his birthday yesterday.
Great. Happy birthday, DP Dwight. Okay, President Janet, you may go ahead.
Thank you, P. Amelia. Just to say that my favorite brother celebrated a birthday on March 12th. So it is indeed a good month.
I tell you, right? Your favorite brother born's March. Yes. That is very good. Right? So is Director Patrick here? Director Patrick? Seems he's not here. President Josephine, you want to do us the honor and give us human and spiritual?
Okay. Okay, the story is told of a little boy who sells newspaper along the roadside. One particular winter night, it was so, and he lives in a cardboard box. One particular winter night, it was so cold and he was wondering if his cardboard box would keep him warm for the night. He went along the road and he saw a policeman and he said to him, "Dear officer, can you tell me where a cold boy like me can go to be warm? Because my cardboard box will not keep me warm." And the officer said to him, "Just walk down the street, go around the corner, you'll see a big white house. Knock on the door, and when it opens, just say John 3:16. He went along the road, down the corner, and he came to the big house. He knocked on the door, and the door was open. A little old woman opened the door to him, and he said, John 3:16. She took him inside and put him down to sit. She then asked him if he was hungry, and he said yes, he had not eaten for 3 days, and she gave him a took him around a table and gave him a table full of food for him to eat as much as he can. And he said to himself, I certainly don't know what John 3:16 is, but it sure makes a hungry boy like me full. She then took him to the bathroom and she put him in a lovely bath of bubbling bath for him to have a bath. And he said to himself again, John 3:16 sure makes a dirty boy like me clean. Then she put him in a bed that was so fluffy with feathers and everything, and he laid there to sleep. And he said, I surely don't know what John 3:16 is, but it sure makes a tired boy like me rested. The following morning when he woke, she gave him breakfast again and everything as the night before. But he turned to her and said, what does John 3:16 means? Because it surely make me clean, it makes me rested, and it make me full. The old lady said to him, I myself don't know what it means, but this big book here will tell us what it is. And she took the book and she opened it and she looked for John 3:16. And it says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Josephine. Lovely story, right? John 3:16, let me get a good shower, right? DP Maxine, are you here? Oh, I'm seeing DP
Yes,
Charm. Your hand. Go ahead, DP Maxine.
Good evening, fellow Kiwanians and guests. The title of my Kiwanis education tonight is the Jamaican flag. The Jamaica flag. The Jamaican flag was unfurled and hoisted for the first time at the dramatic hour of midnight on August 5, 1962, as the British flag was being lowered, signaling the dawn of Jamaica's political independence from Britain, present-day United Kingdom, after over 300 years under British rule. The symbols of the sun shineth, the land is green, and the people are strong and creative is the symbolism of the colors of the flag. Black depicts the strength and creativity of the people. Gold, the natural beauty of the sunlight and the wealth of the country. And green signifies hope and agricultural resources. As Kiwanians, you may be wondering, what does the Jamaican flag has to do with Kiwanis education? But I'm telling you, some of us really don't know the use of the Jamaican flag, and that is what brings me to give this education tonight. The flag is to be regarded as the sacred emblem of the nation, to be paid due reverence and devotion by all its citizens. The flag should never be allowed to touch the ground or floor. The flag should not be flown or used for purely decorative purposes on anything that is for temporary use and likely to be discarded, except on state occasions. Official sanctions flag. It should never have placed on it any mark, insignia, letter, word, number, figure, or drawing of any kind. The flag should never be smaller than any other flag flown at the same time. When the flag becomes worn, dilapidated, is torn, or no longer suitable for display, it should be destroyed in a dignified manner, preferably by burning privately. No other flag should be placed above or to the right of the Jamaican flag, except at foreign embassies, consulates, and missions. Except at foreign embassies, consulates, and missions, No foreign flags may be flown publicly when carried in procession with another flag or flags should be on the marching right. Cycles of any sort, except on military, police, and state occasions. The flag should not be used as embellishment on any object, nor gear, etc., etc. The flag should be flown in or near every polling station on election day. The flag should be flown at half-mast as a sign of official mourning when so declared by the office of the Prime Minister for a period determined by that office. The half-mast position is approximately the hoist or width, short side of the flag below the peak of the flagpole and not halfway down. The flag, when flown at half-mast, should be first hoisted to the peak for an instant and then lowered slowly to the half-mast position. It should be again raised to the peak before it is lowered. During the ceremony of hoisting or lowering the flag, when the flag is passing in a parade or in a review, all persons present should face the flag and stand at attention. Men should remove their hats. Persons in uniform should salute. I think that's a bellyful for tonight, and that's where I end my Kiwanis education. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. I know we're going down to the meat of the matter. You know, we've scraped up the top part of the pot already, and we're going to the middle part of the pot. So now we are going to ask the energizer, no other than LG Hewitt, to start the rest of the service, right?
Thank you very, very much, P.E. Amelia. Good evening, very good evening to P.E. Amelia, representing President Cheryl from the Kiwanis Club of Diverse Professional Portmore Pines, and your team, and to DP Josephine and her team from the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville for your joint meeting. Good evening, LGE Pauline, DLGE Frank, and to the ever-present DLG Gerthlin and all other persons present this evening. When I think of an induction or an installation, I say yes, multiplying or replenishing. Members will be joining, new members will be joining the movement. New members will be replacing some members who had to leave. New members will be replacing persons who were taken from us. The idea is new members are coming into the movement. And that is what we want, and that's what we aim for. It is a must that we must have new members, because if we don't have new members, then depletion would take over. This evening, we will be inducting 6 new members, 5 from the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville and 1 from the Kiwanis Club of Diverse Professional Portmore Pines. We all know that Kiwanis is something good. And anytime you have anything good, you are going to want to share it. And that is what we're doing now. It is good, so we're going to share it by adding 6 new members. The members can give us their profile, or the sponsor. I think tonight the sponsors will be representing the members. And I go into it because tonight we have a number of things to do, so I go straight into the induction. And the first person that will be coming forward is, I know that I want someone to help me pronounce his name. Anasies. Can the sponsor help me pronounce that name?
Anasis.
Anasis nephew. Anasis nephew. And the sponsor is Kiwanian Blessed Plumber. Could you please introduce such Anasis nephew?
Okay. Good night, fellow Kiwanians and guests. Anasis, the first both inductees are male, and so the first one was born on Valentine's Day. That's February 14, at Alligator Pond in the parish of Manchester. His current place of residence is in Porus, Manchester. A teacher by profession and is employed to the Porus Primary School. He is hardworking, a motivator, and is big on capacity building. No wonder he was recently selected by the Ministry of Education as the lead teacher to work with MOE and Jamaica Teaching Council to help organize professional learning communities nationally. He loves serving children. Hence, he was introduced to the Kiwanis organization. He pledged to serve on the following committees: club administration, interclubbing, fundraising, community service. To the board of directors, fellow Kiwanians and guests, I take great pleasure in presenting the esteemed Anasis nephew as an active member of the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville, and I am confident that he will be a valuable member to the club. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kiwanian Blessed and fellow Kiwanians. What the first member has been introduced with that beautiful name, unusual name, and we are going to, so stand by, my brother. We are going to be moving to the second person, who is, the name is not too far from Anasis, Kashev Shaw. And Kashev Shaw, and the sponsor is none other than Kiwanian Blessed Plumber. She seeks persons with those names.
Okay. Born on October 2nd in the parish of Westmoreland, and now reside at Cedar Grove, Mandeville, Manchester. A nurse by profession, and he is employed to the Mandeville Regional Hospital. He is loving, caring, and passionate about serving humanity. Hence, he has committed himself to dedicated service on the following club committees: club administration, community service, SLP, interclubbing, fundraising, and YCPO. To the board of directors, my fellow Kiwanians and guests, I take great pride in presenting the dynamic Kashev Shaw as an active member of the club, and I have all confidence that he will be a valuable asset to the club. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kiwanian Blessed. I would want to ask that the inductees photograph stays a little longer so stays a little longer so that we can see the person and try to get more familiar with the person. I now move move to the third person, which is Gamal McFarlane, and the sponsor is DP Josephine Gale, President.
Good night, everybody. Good night, fellow Kiwanians and guests. Kamal McFarlane was born on the 11th day of January in the parish of Manchester. He is a graduate of Knox High and Community College, a person who loves anything to do with computers. So I would call him a IT specialist. His philosophy his desire to join Kiwanis is that what it inspires him is that the Kiwanis, that is a community that helps people, and his desire is to help the less fortunate in whatever way he can. He is desirous of being a part of several committees such as SLP, Community Service, and Club Programming. Gamal, who is a person who loves to help, I take pleasure in presenting him to the Kiwanis movement to be a part of this noble institution that we are all a part of and proud of. Gamal McFarlane.
Thank you very much, DP Josephine. Gamal McFarlane. So we are on to 3 persons from the Mandeville Kiwanis Club of Mandeville, and we move to the 4th person, which is Tiffany Newman, and the sponsor is P.E. Shirley Morgan. P.E. Shirley Morgan. Is she with us?
Yes, she was on, so.
All right, in the interest of time, what we are going to do, if she comes back, we are going to reintroduce Tiffany. But for now, you're seeing Tiffany Newman on the screen, and she is one of the new members who we are inducting to add more life to the Kiwanis Club and to help. And that is what we need to give service. So let us move to the next person, which is Tanika White. And that is, the sponsor is DP Josephine Gale. DP?
Tanika White, a loan officer at the Edicom Credit Union, a motivated and hard-working individual who always tries to make an indelible mark on anyone. I can say that she is with contact with everything that is happening. Why she chose to be a Kiwanian? There is so many persons in the world below who would be influenced by kind word or deed. Joining Kiwanis is one of such area that she could utilize to impact the nation. She is desirous of being part of several committees in the club, such as SLP, Youth Service, Club Program, and Fundraising. Fellow Kiwanians and guests, I give to you Tanika White.
Thank you very much, DP Josephine. Fellow Kiwanians from the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville, it is our pleasure, the club's pleasure, to show the love for the community, for the club and the community, that they have welcomed 5 new persons to the club. Anasis, Kashev, Gamal, Tiffany, and Tanika. I now move to the Kiwanis Club of Diverse Professionals. And the person is Vanessa Henry, and the sponsor is DP Cheryl Scheme. I would imagine that P. Yomila will have to represent, as he's doing. Vanessa Henry. Yes.
Vanessa lost a family member this evening, and she's unable to train. Yes, so I think you can just move on, LG.
Yeah. We are extremely sorry to hear. And I'm saying at this time, a number of those things are happening. But take heart, God will not give you more than you can bear. Fellow Kiwanians, I take a great pride in presenting our new members. As was mentioned a while ago, Vanessa Henry is not here because of certain reasons, but the other 5 members are here, our newest members. And I know that you, if it were, yes,
LG, before you go, Shirley Morgan, she said she could not unmute, the host did not allow her to unmute herself. So when you were calling her, she couldn't unmute to answer you. She's there now.
She's there now. All right, we'll go, as I said, for Tiffany Newman and sponsor PE Shirley Morgan. Please go forward.
She said she's still not unmuted.
Okay,
Could you assist?
Okay.
I wonder what is happening. The special
Okay, I'm in now. I'm in now.
Okay, beautiful. Please introduce your charge, which is Tiffany Newman.
Okay, Tiffany Newman is a resident of West Road, Mandeville. She is a teacher by profession and executes her professional duties through the Mile Gully High School in Manchester. She serves on the Student Service Committee as a student advisor. She is also the Junior Mayor Advisor. She acquired her professional training at Shortwood Teachers College, Church Teachers College, and Temple University, Philadelphia. She is a mother of a 13-year-old son. She enjoys playing netball and exercising. Her philosophy is guided by the practice of giving her time and skill for the benefit of other people and causes rather than for financial benefit and self-importance. She believes in working for the greater good. Tiffany is no newcomer to the Kiwanis family. She was a key clubber at high school and a circuit carer at the tertiary level. She now sees it fitting to continue her unwavering service through the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Kiwanians, I present to you Tiffany Tanisha Newman.
Thank you very much, PE Shirley Morgan. We are glad we did not miss that introduction.
Thank you.
So as I said, we have welcomed six persons to the movement. And I know the clubs are grateful to have those persons being a part of their club. We welcome to this global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. I did know at this time we would be pinning the new members, but as you are aware, we are not able to because of circumstances. So we would move on to presenting their certificates. Are those certificates ready? President, host.
President Kevon.
Yes, and I see, you're kind of moving fast still. Yes, they are beautiful. Yes. Presenting, yes, shake hand, shake. Yes. Very good. Now that you have received your certificate and you're now a real major part of your club, I would ask that I saw on the agenda that someone would come in at this time with the objects. The agenda pointed to someone.
Kiwani and Tanika.
Is she ready or should I continue? Okay, in the interest of time again, I now ask everybody to join in. No, we can't ask everybody because it will not sound proper. I'll ask a member of one of the clubs to do the objects of Kiwanis International, because the members are not going to be able to do it at this time unless they have it, even though they should know it. Could we have the objects of the Kiwanis International? To give primacy to the human and spiritual rather than the material values of life. To encourage the daily living of the golden rule in all human relationships. To promote the adoption and the application of higher social, business, and professional standards. To develop by precepts and example a more intelligent, aggressive, and serviceable citizenship. To provide through Kiwanis clubs a practical means to form enduring friendships, to render altruistic service, and to build better communities. To cooperate in creating and maintaining that sound public opinion and high idealism, which make possible the increase of righteousness, justice, patriotism, and goodwill. As we said before, we know that the club thanks the clubs thank the new members for being a part, and we also do thank the new members for being a part of the Kiwanis movement. A new member for the club, as we know, means new ideas, new enthusiasm, greater fellowship, and greater service. That is what we aim at. Today we have brought into the two clubs 6 new members. Let us all, you may sit, and welcome. Open your mics, please open your mics. Everybody, please open your mics.
LG, if they can open, because Tanika just WhatsApp me and let me know that the host was not allowing her to unmute.
Microphones are now open.
Yeah, they would need to open now. They are now open.
But she could not open, she could not unmute herself.
Yes, I understand, DB. Yes, I understand. Let us all stay right where we are as we welcome with clap all 6 new members. Please go forward.
Welcome.
Beautiful. Welcome, everyone. We are glad you are with us.
LG, please unmute. LG, please unmute.
Sorry, yes. So I was saying welcome, everyone. We are glad you joined. We cannot shake hand now, but we know that everything will be okay because you have come in to assist or to continue what you have seen. And what you have seen is service, and more so to the children of the world, the community and children. Thank you very much for being a part of the movement, and looking forward to hearing much more about you as you serve the Kiwanis movement. Thank you very much. Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, LG8. Welcome again, members of the Kiwanis movement. Just to see that our moderator, Dr. Shanique Walters, will have to leave by 9. Our apologies. You know that when you're lecturing at the university, you have so much course to do, right? You have to be making notes and doing presentations from early. But now we will call on Dr. Shanique Walters to come forward as our moderator, and Miss Anne-Marie, newest prospect of diverse professionals, to come and do the introduction of presenters.
Okay, thank you so much, Emilio. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Kiwanians. I want to thank you for this opportunity to share in this experience. We're looking at the young females who are sharing in their stories of what they've achieved. And what we hope to get from this session is that we'll all be empowered by the different information that they're going to showcase with us. So I'm just going to allow the introduction of the guest speaker, and then we'll continue throughout the session. Emilio?
Go ahead.
Hi, good evening.
Amelia, go ahead, please.
I'm reading for Trevine Forbes. Who is Trevine Forbes? Trevine is a young entrepreneur, a mother, and a person who inspires people to be the best version of themselves. She is the CEO of Trevine Seafood Delivery Service. Trevine Seafood started out years ago as a one-woman job and has grown to a team of about 15 independent contractors and 4 delivery personnel. According to Trevine, we deliver to just about everywhere in Jamaica once it's feasible for us. We also offer seafood preparation services for large events and small get-togethers. Trevine is very passionate about her job as a seafood professional and strives to give her best. Her favorite line is, "It makes me happy when my customers are happy." She's hardworking, self-driven with top-notch customer service skills. Dr. Roseanne Smith. Dr. Smith was born and raised in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in a small village called La Croix, located in the breadbasket of St. Vincent, the Mariacqua Valley. She is married to her wonderful Jamaican husband and has 2 wonderful kids. She lectures at the Department of Geography and Geology at the University of the West Indies, Jamaica. She is also a climate change adaptation and disaster risk management consultant. In this regard, she has been consulted or collaborated on a number of projects and also published several articles and reports in relation to her research interest. While her research consultations have occurred within the Caribbean, including Jamaica, St. Vincent, Guyana, British Virgin Islands, and Antigua and Barbuda, several have been funded by international organizations, including the World Bank and the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. She was the lead consultant for the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, with responsibility of applying the Comprehensive Disaster Management Audit Tool, which identifies the strengths and weaknesses in comprehensive disaster management in different Caribbean islands. She was also a part of the University of the West Indies consulting team on a World Bank funded project, which recently won the UWI's Principal Award for the project with the most business impact. Dr. Smith is very enthusiastic about youth development and women empowerment, and is also a social advocate and uses social media to raise awareness and address varying issues relating to disaster and even social issues surrounding relationship and marriages. She is passionate about teaching in all spheres of life and was awarded in 2018 by the UWI as one of their distinguished lecturers. Thank you.
Thank you, Prospect Anne Marie. Is DP Faith Daly here?
Good evening, everyone. Devin Tucker, marketer, writer, public speaker, and content creator. With her own distinctive flair, infectious energy, passion for work and performance, Tucker has established herself as a firebrand across multiple disciplines in the Jamaican space. A tour de force in marketing, media, public speaking, production, and content creation, she has worked for brands Nestle Jamaica Limited, Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited, AIM Educational Services, Right Image Entertainment, the producers of the multifaceted Chillin brand. daydreams and part producers of the internationally acclaimed summer music festival Dream Weekend. Davane now works for herself. She has appeared as a talent and presenter in online shows, campaigns for stalwart Jamaican brands like National Baking Company and Suppligent Jamaica. Tucker has held stages with the Grammy-winning artist Coffee and the Grammy-nominated artist Chronicles, other notable acts. While Davine continues to develop along her own journey, she moves in purposefulness to share with others as they navigate their own. Through knowledge, wisdom, and the natural ability to connect, she energizes audiences of all ages. Special focus on those 13 to 30 years old, motivating them towards their own personal and professional development. In how she chooses to live, work, and chart her story, Devane Tucker has become synonymous with the words made for more, her regular hashtag in the digital space and a bolstering mantra of resilience and rising to every occasion. Dr. Sandra Hamilton. Dr. Hamilton is a motivational speaker, educator, retreat leader, change agent, and community developer. She was the inaugural recipient of the Olive Lewin Memorial Research Fellow at the Institute of Jamaica and the recipient of the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Education in 2018. She has conducted groundbreaking research in Jamaica's cultural heritage, examining the Etu people of Jamaica and leading to their international recognition, including being acknowledged as part of our intangible cultural heritage by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. While with St. Mary's University of Minnesota, Dr. Hamilton led her students to write the first master's level paper ever to win Best Research Paper, a title usually reserved for doctoral students from the university. She still holds this distinction of being the facilitator with the most papers recognized as deserving Best Research Paper. Dr. Sandra Hamilton has been involved in education, change management, community building, and spirituality for over 30 years in the capacities of principal, founder, and consultant, holding leadership positions both locally and internationally, including Vice President of Graduate Studies with the Master of Education in Teaching and Learning with St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Dr. Hamilton has been involved in strategic planning, development of university policies, writing curricula for higher education, accreditation both locally and internationally, internal and external quality management, as well as developing and managing partnerships with overseas universities. As an assessor, she works with Task Stream and Higher Learning Commission in the United States and locally with the Vocational Training Development Institute and HART National Training Agency. Dr. Hamilton earned her doctorate in educational leadership from St. Mary's University of Minnesota, her master's in gender and development, as well as public administration from the University of the West Indies, Mona, and her bachelor's in human ecology from the University of Technology. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. The one thing we can agree is that we have a set of ladies who are purpose-driven. I want to hear more about their purpose. So I'm going to ask Roseanne Smith, Dr. Roseanne Smith, to go first with her conversation, and then we'll move on. Dr. Smith?
Pleasant good night to everyone. I promise not to keep you here too long and to keep the speech very, very short, because I realize we have been here for a while, and also that there are several other speakers. Thank you so much, Amelia Walker, for having me. I am hearing to open my camera. I'm hoping that the strength of the bandwidth is good, especially with the amount of pulses that is on. Sometimes it is affected, so I'm going to turn it on. And hopefully you are seeing me. Yes, well, at least I am seeing me. Right, I am so grateful to Amelia Walker for having me and to be speaking to the club tonight and to all those persons who are on. As you have heard from my bio, I am Roseanne Smith and from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am actually from Lacqua. That's how we call it. It's French, what we say Lacqua village in Mesopotamia. And I am going to share briefly about my story. I shared my story in a few sentences on Facebook. And I guess since then I've been called to do these little speeches. And from what I am learning about your club, I believe that it's important in terms of sharing what you have been doing and how it's important for persons who at times don't even know that there are persons out there who are willing to help, willing to support, and so on. Now, I grew up from a very poor background, and I said poor in the true sense of poverty. True sense in that, you know, we had standpipe, we have outside toilet, we have outside kitchen. It was 3 of us. It was a 1-bedroom, and you know what? You know, back those days, it's not about a matter of you know, boys and girls. If you have boys, you need a room for the boys and you need a room for the girl. Everybody sleep either on the ground or on the bed, whatever is available. Right? There were days when there was no money to go to school, and you know, you have to ask persons and so on. I performed in combinations, which is what we still have in St. Vincent. And I passed to go one of the top school in St. Vincent, but there was this sort of negotiation in terms of whether to send me or to send me to a school which is walking distance because it's cheaper. Eventually they decided that it would have been better for me to go to a school which I have to take transportation for. I was performing well in school, topping it at times, like having the highest average in school. But I also grew up in a home where domestic abuse was, you know, quite evident in terms of, you know, my father is an alcoholic, because that has not changed, and you know, the abuse, the physical and verbal abuse of my mother, I witnessed that to the point that, you know, it was very difficult for me to sleep, very difficult for me to even think, to study. And remember, we didn't have electricity, so you're studying under candles, lamp, or I don't know if you know what you call flambeau. Flambeau is where you fold the bottle with oil, you stuff piece of paper, cloth in the top, and you dip it. You know, I don't know how many of you know about that in Jamaica. If you come from country, probably know. And you will hear me switching, because sometimes I speak and person say, you know, you pick up Jamaican patois. No, our Vincentian dialect is similar to the Jamaican patois. Right? So I get through high school, and at the end of the day, when I was supposed to pay for my CXC subjects, there was no money. There was no money, and you know, my mother was reaching out to family members, and they themselves were poor. And the story was, you know, it's hard to see that she has gotten to this stage. I see somebody saying butter tart. We call it flambeau. The story was, it's hard to see that she has gotten to this stage, and you know, you can't proceed. To this day, persons who are listening to me, I do not know who my mother went to for assistance. You know, all I know, she came back and she gave me the money to pay for the subjects, and the story was, you know, this was it. This was the end of education. And the way how high school is set up for us is not the same like Jamaica. We don't do our advance in the high school system. We actually go to what we call a community college, right? So we go to a community college, and we completely pay for the advanced levels that we used to call it back then. And so she told me that this was it. It was time to go and look for work, because even if she wanted to assist, there was no money to assist. And you know, I know many pastors mention the whole spirituality and that part of the Kiwanis Club. And I can tell you now that it was my involvement in church that got me the next step further, you know, in terms of doing my advance, because my pastor's wife was teaching at the community college and she was asking me if I was going to attend. And I said, I want to, I apply, but, you know, there is no money to go and I don't think, you know, that is going to happen. And she said, you know, don't you know that there are this person helping, that person helping? And again, this is why I want to emphasize the importance of what you do, you know, because there are times when persons are not aware of these things, because I didn't know that this also exists, that group exists, this exists, who might be willing to help, you know. But she put me on to even a pharmacist and said, you know, go and speak to this person. He normally helps persons in your situation, and you know, she's certain. So I went and I went to that pharmacy. I went to that pharmacy. I entered the pharmacy. I tried to build up the courage to ask the person, and I was there for a few minutes and then I walked out because I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed. You know, I don't want to say proud, but I was a little scared. I was about, you know, 16 going into 17 years of age, and I was a little scared, timid. It wasn't my mother doing it. It wasn't my mother who was asking me to go and beg my way through college. It was me who determined I want something better. And so I went back into the pharmacy after a few minutes. I went back in and I waited until I saw no one at the window, and I went up and I whispered to the pharmacy my situation, and he assisted. You know, he told me he will assist. I went to another shop in my community and they assisted. I went to another rep in who was the political rep for the area, and he also assisted with books, and that is how I got through college. You know, my pastor wife said she will give me a ride every day. I will just have to walk. It was a good little walk, but reach to her home and she will take me down. And it means that it doesn't matter if my class started at 12 because it was flexible, or if it started at 9. I had to wake up every morning at 8 and I had to go with them in order to get through. And so I got through college, but then at the end, when it was time to pay for the level, there was another another struggle. You know, that was another struggle. And I am saying this to say that there are many persons out there, you know, students, persons who are in poverty, who are intelligent, who can make it, who are determined, but there is no support system. And it really emphasizes that, you know, when you're doing these things, you know, at times it might get a little stressful, you know, not being able to help persons, but it's good to feel motivated that at one day you will hear somebody read out their bio, like mine was just read, and you will say, wow. But wow is a wow moment of struggle, and I am ever so grateful because my journey involved a lot of support. It was me wanting something, yes, but I could not have done it without, you know, the different groups, the different persons who are around me, including my friends. Because when I finished college and I got to work and I said, look, I have to help my family, and I was paying rent and I was doing this because by now my mother, because of the abuse, had left. So we were living on our own. And so everybody, you have to pool. I had to try and get my brothers through school. And so there was no university. I didn't even know there was something called university, because we did not have that in our island. It was not like Jamaica, where as you finish high school, person thinking university. I didn't know university exists. You know, I didn't know that there was anything such as BA and masters and PhD. And even as it was my friends who were in a higher status, a higher income bracket. They had parents who were encouraging them and all these different things. They were the ones who were encouraging me now to say, I need to go university. And I'm saying university, I couldn't even get through high school properly. I said, I can't. You know, I have to be helping. And they speak and they speak and they speak and they speak. And then there was a scholarship in the newspaper and they said, apply. I did apply. I did apply to university. I did get in. I applied for the scholarship and I did not get the scholarship. But it was that moment that was the turning point, because my friend said, well, This is not the end. There's a way for you to get an economically disadvantaged loan. No, my parent was not involved with any of that, either of them. And so they put me through the system because I did not know what to do. And again, it emphasizes your work and what you're doing and how it can benefit somebody. They took me through everything. They helped me fill out every form. And it was that economically disadvantaged loan that got me to the University of the West Indies. And when I got there, I was so amazed because I was not as young as the other students. I was not a teenager. I was in my early 20s. And here were a lot of teenagers involved in this club, that club. And I, who was old, I was feeling so motivated by that drive, that Jamaican drive that I saw among young people. And again, I really want to stress what you're doing because I started getting myself involved in clubs because I realized that it really builds character, it builds self-confidence, it builds self-esteem. And so I pushed myself through university, make up my mind that I didn't have no money to fail a subject, to say resit a subject. I didn't have that luxury. And I pushed myself, and in my final year, I was at an upper second class, and I did not even know that I was at an upper second class because I didn't know what GPA was, even though I was at stage of the at university. And it was another student from Trinidad who said to me, let's go for first class. And then I'm realizing there was pass, lower sec, upper sec, and first class honors. That was my first encounter. And so she was the one who really assisted. We decided to study, and I got all A profile in my final semester and tipped me over the edge. So I graduated with first class honors. And I thought, again, that was it. And then came a professor who was saying, no, you need to do your MPhil. You know, you are the kind of person who want back into the department. And today I am lecturing in that very same department because of the help and assistance. I could not have done it all by myself. I am ever thankful for the persons who invested in me, the persons who are surrounded, who I surround myself with. And I want to really end by encouraging you all to continue in the work that you're doing. I'm just giving you a synopsis, you know, of what I have gone through because of time. But I really want to encourage yourself to find that, to be that mentor for another person. At times they are in homes where they do not know you exist. They don't know that there is a Kiwanis club. But things like this, you're streaming on YouTube, I'm sure you have your social media page, things like this, you know, and you're reaching out and you bringing a young people into the fold. You are doing an excellent job, and you will change life just like how my life was influenced by persons who I was around. So thank you all so much for having me and giving me this opportunity to share my story. I wish you all the best in the club activities.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Smith. Again, that was so profound, very inspirational, yes. Do we have any questions that we want to ask Dr. Smith? Any questions? Any questions for Dr. Smith? Okay, since we have no questions coming in for Dr. Smith, I think we can move right ahead into Dr. Trevine Forbes. So I'll allow not Dr. Forbes, Miss Forbes to go right ahead with her presentation.
Hi, good night, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope everyone is doing well. And as the title says, her story. Her story. Wow, that's a big, broad topic because my story is a lot, but I'm going to try my best to make it consumable. I'm going to try my best to condense it and make it as quick as possible. I hope everyone is hearing me well. Raise a hand if you're hearing me, because I'm not sure if you're hearing me. I know you're not seeing me because my camera is off. I just got home. I was trying to listen to everyone while driving home.
We're hearing you.
Great, great. So, yes, I'm a mother and a businesswoman. And the how I got into business, I've always had the spirit of entrepreneurship. You know, I was always a little hustler, and I became a mother when I was very young. I was 17, and you know, there was no real family support. The environment was not there. You know, there was just no real support, and here I was a child with a child, and so I was forced, you know, to level up and think big. I couldn't, you know, there was this saying that I like, I had to be a better person, not because of the circumstances. I had to be the person that I did not see around me. I didn't see anyone around me that I wanted to be like. And so I had to be that person. And so I was forced, you know, to become aware of myself and my environment and make the changes that were necessary. And so, trust me, the journey, it was not a pleasant one, but it's not one that I regret. Even though it's painful, it has molded me and shaped me into the woman that I am today, and the person that I'll be. So, you know, it's not something that I regret, but yeah, being a single parent, a teen mother, there was no support. And, you know, sometimes in life, the people you look to, you see, as you grow, you start to be disappointed in your environment and the people around you, because you realize there is not much, they don't have much hope, they don't have no faith, and you feel left alone, you feel, you know, you feel drained and helpless because there's really nowhere to turn. And, you know, you have limited education, you don't have friends to motivate you, you don't, the association there, I didn't know about a Kiwanis club until I was an adult. I didn't know about, you know, foundations and places that you could go to get help if you were in a certain situation. I was just completely unaware in the world. But thankfully, the day when I became aware of myself and realized that things has to be changed, and I had to be the one to change them, and yes, grow into the person, you know, that vision that you have. I've grown into that person to pursue the vision. Oh, I started my seafood company. I started my seafood company in I've been doing seafood for a very long time, but I did not take it very seriously because, you know, I was battling with being employed and, you know, being out there. Because being an entrepreneur is a big, big job. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and a lot of responsibility. And so I guess there were points when I was intimidated by the task and I was trying to find an easy way out. So I always think working was better. But in 2019, 2018, I became so fed up of the 9 to 5 that I just walk off the job. And when I walk off the job, I was, you know, trying here and trying there to do stuff, but nothing was connecting. But the seafood, I remember years ago, I started my seafood page, but I didn't reach very far with it because I didn't have all the requirements to start. So I put it on pause. And then the idea was lying in bed one night, the idea came to me, what can I do what can I do to make things better? I mean, I was not in any desperate situation or anything, but I wanted to make money. I wanted to be better. And, you know, I was just lying there asking myself the question, what can I do to make money? And then the answer just came to me just like that. It said, you should start back your page. So I jumped on Facebook. I started the page. There was this old page. I deleted the page and I started a new page, which was Honesty Seafood at first. But as I go along and the business grew, I went to register my business. I was not able to get the Honesty name because there was some other company that was registered years ago with a name similar to it. Anyways, long story short, business took off, you know, COVID coming in, and in the midst of the COVID, that's when I rise. I tell you, business just blow right up. And I was like, whoa, this is my time. This is the opportunity that I need to make use of. And so I did. And I went along, I registered my company. You know, do my taxes. I just do everything to make it a company that I could push forward and employ other people to make that company up. You know, we sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Yes, but yes, I'm registered. I became a company because, you know, I was like, I have this bigger vision now. I'm like, whoa, I can employ this amount of people. And I started getting excited because now I'm not just making money, but I'm helping people to make money. And it's a journey I will not spend all night to tell you guys, but life, it's unpredictable, but you can't live it in fear. You just have to go out there, try stuff. You're going to fail, especially when you don't know what you're doing and you don't know where to turn. You're going to hit obstacles. When you're out there in the world and you have limited information, there are a lot of persons out there waiting to take disadvantage of you. And it's just not easy, but you just can't give up. And you can't make, as the first time you book your foot, you give up. You just have to keep pushing and keep pushing. You know, not all of us are going to have the opportunity to go university and do all these fancy education or have that background, you know, in the corporate world or whatever. But you don't have to be that person, but you can be the person that you want to be once you have the faith, the drive, and, you know, you have to be persistent. You just have to be a conqueror, or more than a conqueror. And I'll just leave it right there.
Thank you very much, Miss Trevine Forbes. Lovely story. I love the fact that your encouragement, your push, your drive was right there. A lot of us really need that in some point in time in our lives, and we'll definitely look on your story and reflect on it. Is Dr. Sandra Hamilton ready for us?
I am here.
Thank you. You may go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. How are you? And you see me now? People need to talk to me. So when I ask questions, people need to put it in the chat. So let's stop. Get that out. Good evening. Right. Her story, my story. I've been listening to, I caught the last two because I'm actually stepping in from teaching. And I hear stories of help when help is needed. And I hear stories of education. And the Trevine was saying, not everybody can get the education. But the fact of the matter is you really don't need the education. And sometimes we perform better when we don't have it. And getting the education brings its own challenges. So I want you to picture in your mind, if you will, a little girl, fine like this, at 18 years old, whose only desire was to work for the Lord. Sole desire, only purpose in life was to work for the Lord. And being at college, having made the decision that I would enter the convent, and my parents said, get an education first. So I was at college, and come May, which is exam time, I'm studying at a friend's house, and it's a whole group of us studying together. And it's late, too late for us to walk back home. And so we decided to stay over, and it's a family home. We all know everybody. We study there regularly. It's not a big deal. And I end up sleeping on the couch. At some point in the night, I feel myself being lifted and placed in a bed. Not a big deal. Until I feel myself being undressed. And I scream. I'm in a house full of females. This is a very religious house, deacon, all kind of holy people in there. And I'm screaming and I get absolutely no response. And as more clothing is being removed and I scream louder, or I try to scream louder, there's a hand placed over my mouth. And when I struggle, there is, what is this? I'm choked. I'm choked. And then imagine waking up in that house and everybody acts as if nothing has happened, that I go to college, I sitting on the bench. And as people tell me, good morning, how you doing? Nobody sees my pain. Absolutely nobody, or that's how I felt. There was one young man, his name is Glenn Phillips, he's from Grenada, who asked me what happened. And he said, were you giving anybody trouble? And then he looked at me and he says, who did that to you? He's left-handed, because the thumbprints, the fingerprints were still in my neck. They were sunken in, it was that bad. But I didn't say anything to him because I'd already been to the doctor, who would not touch me, not with a 10-foot pole, and simply said, go to the police. If you've ever been in the situation, you know when you go to the police, you're re-traumatized, so that didn't work. And I ended up then failing 5 subjects. I was an A student before that, but nothing worked. I couldn't focus, and my sole desire at that point was to die. So I did various things in an effort to die. None of them worked. I'm still here, but it was a really difficult period. I finished school, failing everything. I tried to enter the convent, and they say, oh, take a year to get to know the world and make a decision. And my head goes, okay, God, after all of this, them are going to tell me to take a year off and make a decision, why? And for somebody who was brought up in church, whose only desire was to serve the Lord, it was a really, really hard lesson. I don't know if it was a hard lesson, but it was an extremely challenging time. I did enter the convent. I lasted all of 4 months. Because the thing is that when you've been raped, it seeps into your entire being, and it affects how you relate to people. So I was very bitter. I was aggressive. I want to say I hated everybody, whether male, female, family, or friend. Nobody could touch me. Nobody could interact. I had a great time in the convent, I'll tell you. I started a lot of groups, did a lot of work in a city. But I wasn't truly whole. I was very damaged. And we spoke about it and decided, okay, we need help.
Now, years after, and I mean like, I don't know, not that long ago, my mother made a comment, which was, do you know that you woke up screaming every single night at the same time? She says, yes, that's why we sent you to the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist is my good friend now, but at the time was of no help. And I mean, no help, because he says, why are you here? I'm like, I don't know, don't want to be here. Why are they putting me in this room with this man? So it wasn't good. I became a principal at a fairly young age. By 25, I was a principal. And I had a student who came every single day to school. My bestest student. She designed our gear for netball competition, and we came second. It was the first year I was principal, first year we entering. We didn't get first because we did not have matching sneakers, so we couldn't get first place. But after a while, my student, I'm gonna call her Jane, she started painting when she came to school, once a week, twice a week, every day. And I sent her to KPH. And the doctors kept on saying there's nothing wrong with her. It's attention getting behavior. And I'm like, this chick don't need no more attention. She get everything she wants. Eventually, I found out that her uncle, was having sex with her. She was a baby. She was 15. And I got really upset. I got angry. I remembered my own pain and suffering and decided that now I'm gonna work. I'm gonna go over this, I'm gonna deal with it. Because when it happened to me, I had absolutely no help. There's nobody who believed me. Police didn't believe me. Doctor was like, you're dirt, get out of my office, don't touch anything. So I walked into Jonestown. Very brave. You know, when you're young, you feel you can do everything. So I walked into there. And her grandmother, her mother, her aunt sat me down and said to me, listen, you're young. You don't know how world run. Everybody asleep with our grandfather, our father, our stepfather, our uncle, they done. And they went through a list of men who were having sex with this little girl. And I, of course, am pretty appalled. I come from country. I don't know nothing about this kind of thing. And then they said to me, in this family, all of us have been through it. It is our way of life. Don't make up your face, don't cry. Let me tell you that Jane, her womb was infected. She had multiple STDs, sexual transmitted diseases. And you might know Dr. Mary of Radio Fame. That's where I'd sent her to. And she's the one who discovered what had happened. So for me, it was a kind of a turning point, because you discover that you're not the only one who has been through it, that so many people are going through it. And then I had another child, also 15, whose father brought her, and I'm like, where the mother there? He said the mother had left, but he was a little bit too close, too overprotective. And we discovered it was another incest situation. We ended up taking it to court. In the court, I said to the clerk of courts that I do not feel safe and I'd prefer not to come back. And the young lady turned to myself and my social worker and said, the only way you do not come back to this court is if you're dead. The day before the next court date, the father drove up to the bus stop and stabbed my social worker 7 times in her chest. Full view of everybody, all the school children, full view. And then he drove off. Nobody would pick her up, nobody would help. I actually wasn't there at the time. When we did eventually go to court, well, I had to move.
I had to get security, 24-hour security and all kind of drama. But it brought me to the point where I recognized that something has to be done. And so I began working with women who had been abused, who had been raped. Since COVID, so many women are locked in situations where they are not happy, where they are being abused, and they come out every day and they smile. So many children, so many girls, and I work with a lot of high schools. They come out and they smile. Or with the girls, they display maladaptive behaviors, okay? That's what we like to say. They're doing things that are not age appropriate. And we say to them that the girl bad, and you have no clue what that child is going through at home. You complain that whoever comes to work and they're so miserable and this, but you don't know what's going on at home. My story is one where now I've been really, truly blessed that I am able to work with women and men, because there's so many boys who I'm going to say have it harder than we do because they're male. They're not able to share because they're expected to be mature. Like one little boy tell me, they call him Batman at school. Everybody know. I mean, everybody knows he's been abused. He sat down, he told me how it started, and the little boy is 9. And we are all adults. I'll tell you, he's been forced to, okay, I won't tell you, but let's say he's been abused. He goes to school, all he draws is penis. He dragged a little girl, he's 9, right? He dragged a little girl around to the bathroom and told her he was going to rape her. Boy is 9 years old. My blessing is that I've been honored to work with children, with adults, and to bring them from that point of pain to the place where they can create a new story, because we all have a story. And most of us take that story and it follows us in a negative way. My blessing is being able to help people take that negative and turn it into their own empowerment. And for all of us who are here, to tell you that it doesn't matter what you've been through, you can make a change and you can turn your life around. You can be happy. If you've been through any kind of abuse, you can still find joy and you can still have a really powerful, positive relationship with a male if you were abused by a male, or with a female if it is a female that does it. And that's my story. My story is that I am so blessed. I am so grateful for the gift of being able to touch people's life in a positive way so they can understand how beautiful and awesome they are, because every one of us has gold within us, male, female, child, no matter what you've been through, you have gold within you. I hear somebody say it's horrible. Can I tell you that in Australia and Canada and UK, it's 1 in 5 women who have reported being raped, which means there are so many people who have not reported it. In Jamaica, I would say it's more like 1 in 3. And those who have not been raped, we have been fondled, we have been fingered, we've gone in the bus and we've been groped, so that there are so many ways in which we have suffered sexual trauma. And unfortunately, as a society, we've made it norm through music, through dances. We have made it normal, and it is not, and it is very disempowering. My mission is to empower those of us who have been through that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So that's my story.
Whoa.
Wow.
Stories moving from strength to strength. Each story was so phenomenal, right? These stories gave us things and vision us to the new future, right? Giving us something to take back, give us something to help other persons grow, to build themselves, and to view themselves as important and not invisible, someone that is not broken, but someone that is strong. Thank you very much, Dr. Sandra Hamilton. Do we have any other questions? We have any questions from anyone this evening to ask Dr. Sandra Hamilton or any other of the presenters, Dr. Roseanne Smith, Miss Trevane Forbes? Wonderful stories. Any questions?
P. Emilio. I don't have a question. I just want to say hello, Dr. Hamilton, and and thank you so much. It's because of you why I got a chance. I remember just a quick second, fellow Kiwanians, when I wanted to get into that master's program, my GPA was low because I did my bachelor's online. I had challenges. I was the only person in Jamaica. There was some group work. I did it by myself because I couldn't get any members. They failed me for the course. It affected my GPA. And when I went, Dr. Hamilton, I had this conversation with her and she believed in me and she said, push on. I remember my first grade, I did 2 courses. I needed to get A or B plus for the courses. My first grade was 54%. I cried and she said, push in. And I said, I must get into this program. And I got into this master's program, graduated from the year 2016. That's 4 years ago, 2014 to 2016. And I'm so happy you have been a positive influence in my life. Thank you so much.
Yay, Jermaine. Yay.
Wonderful, wonderful. Any other persons want to make a comment or have a question?
Emilio?
Yes, President Kevon.
Just want to share some of the views from our members who are streaming on YouTube. Shanika Lewis said, great words, Dr. Smith. Janisa Green said, wow, such a beautiful story. Jennifer Kessler says, go Trevane, my girl, go girl. Quite inspirational. I must say that our last presenter, Dr. Hamilton, has brought a lot of tears to some of our participants with her story. Camille McNeil says, this story brings me to tears, among other comments that are posted on YouTube. Very heavy, one commenter said. So those are the comments coming so far from the participants on YouTube.
Thank you very much, President Kevon. Great. So, this meeting, as I told when I was saying, people ask, oh, do any other clubs have any announcement? And I give my announcement. I tell them to cook early and do them things from early. You know, notice that the meeting can't end. The meeting is just so wonderful. I tell you, I love the stories. Everything is so great, so impactful. And we really love it. You know, it's sad right now. It's coming to an end, right? And we will definitely want to hear more, right? Definitely a part 2 where we can get more other women to come and speak and tell their stories. Right now, we will call on Nadia, or PRO, Diverse Professionals, and Treasurer Wayne to hand over the certificates and do the vote of thanks for our presenters.
But your DPP, Amelia, before you do that, what happened to the radio personality? She's not on?
Miss Davian Tucker, she sent me an email. Yes.
Okay.
She's not on. She just got home and she's so tired. So she went on a photo shoot and stuff and she's so tired. Really sorry about that, my fellow Kiwanians, but she will make herself available at another time.
Okay.
But we can hand over the certificates and have PRO Nadia to come and do the vote of thanks.
Okay.
Treasurer Wayne. I'm using my phone. Thank you very much, Prospect Anne Marie. Well done, well done. You know, when you have a prospective Kiwanian and that person can do something on a program, you know that person is dubbed for greatness, right? She will definitely be a great Kiwanian, and the Kiwanis Club of Diverse Professionals really love you and accept you as our family and can't wait to be working with you as a Kiwanian. Okay, so since I've just got some bad news that Nadia's mic is not working, so I'll just lovely take over. Unless DP Josephine want to do the vote of thanks. You know, vote of thanks with these ladies is something where you love. Sugar up.
I am here.
All right, thank you, Nadia.
I am here.
Nadia, I
Yes,
was
I
just
am
going to
here.
take the role, you know. I was just going to put the whipped cream and the cherry and the melted chocolate on the top of the cake.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Good night, everyone. Good night. Special invited guest speakers, Dr. Sandra Hamilton, Dr. Rose Ann Smith, and Miss Trevane Forbes. Other distinguished guests, respectable presidents, special invited guests, new members, to our vibrant moderators, fellow Kiwanians, good evening to you all. On behalf of the two clubs, Diverse Professional of Portmore Pines and the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville, I would like to express a hearty vote of thanks to everyone for the sacrifices you have made to attend this joint meeting and induction ceremony. Special gratitude is extended to our guest speakers. You did an extraordinary job. Thank you for willingly agreed to present your story, her story of knowledge, experiences, and advices. Surely, this journey you took us on was very impactful, inspirational, compacted with enriched experiences despite all the potholes. It was fulfilling listening to you all. Dr. Smith, like most of us, you grew up in a very poor background. However, you did not allow your struggles to dictate your future. You exhibited resilience and persistency. Consumable it was, Miss Forbes. You exemplified the meaning. It is not how you start, but how you finish. Due to your self-awareness and being a visionary, you have resulted in being successful. Your practice of each one help one is in line with our mission. Definitely, we will continue to be conquerors. Dr. Hamilton, your experience was traumatizing and it was mentally overwhelmed and damaging. Yet, you propelled and you blossomed to be a doctor. Due to your personal pain and suffering, you were driven to assist others. Keep on exerting yourself and you will be justly awarded with life-changing testimonies. We will strive to practice what you have imparted to us in order to grow with more purpose as an individual. I charge all attendees this evening, be the change, offer a helping hand, and most importantly, let us assist in bridging the gaps of poverty in our community, one child at a time. Once again, thank you very much.
Lovely, lovely PRO, Nadia. Really love it. You know, that sugar coating, you know, when you get your favorite cake and you eat it with some ice cream, that's it. Very lovely, very lovely.
Thank you.
Let's share the certificates. President Kavan.
Wow.
We will email each participant their certificate, right? Lovely. I so love them. Thank you very much again, Dr. Roseanne Smith, Dr. Sandra Hamilton, and Miss Trevine Forbes. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, you know, we're at the...
PE, Amelia, you can email me Dr. Hamilton's one, so I'll print it and get it to her.
Sure, will do, President Josephine. I would like to thank all the clubs for turning out this evening. We appreciate you. We appreciate your interclubbing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, LGU8. Welcome again, new Kiwanians. And listen, I have to big up the members of the Kiwanis Club of Diverse Professionals, always trying to work, always doing their best. Even when I call on them the last minute, they are there and they're available to work. Thank you very much, my fellow Kiwanians from Diverse Professionals. So now it's 9:35. We're gone way past COVID curfew time, and we don't want the blue lights to start shining in. So it's on me now, right, to say thanks again and toast the Kiwanis International. Raise your no, you can't raise imagine glass no can down here.
Exactly.
But on a must can find something to drink, even a glass of water is fine. All who love the rum and Pepsi and the rum and milk. Yes. DP Dion and our rum cream. Yes, the rum, the white wine, red wine. Let's raise it. Thank you very much. Toast Kiwanis International, Friends of Jamaica, stay safe, keep safe.
Nobody can see you now. Please terminate the meeting.
This meeting of the Kiwanis Clubs of Diverse Professionals and Mandeville is now terminated. LGU, it look like him just drink some rum, him a lick off him lip.
A water man.
Amelia.
The toast man.
Amelia.
I'm not here.
Lovely meeting, DP Josephine. Lovely meeting.
President Kevon is talking to you.
You forgot to start the technical team.
Right.
Who was working.
Oh my, thank you very much to the technical team.